Hello, my name is Jeremy Barnes, and today I'm going to do a video about what I'm most anticipating for Phase 5. And number one on my list is the one that they're going to cap it off with, which is another team up movie. The first one since Guardians of the Galaxy outside of the Avengers and Eternals. The next team is going to be the Thunderbolts. And the more I hear about this movie, the more excited I'm getting for it. Because the team itself is going to be kind of pretty like average strength level characters, but what they're going to go up against, I think, is going to be some fucking omega level strength powers or strength power levels characters, and that makes it kind of interesting to me because you got like the underdogs going up against like an unstoppable threat. So I think that's going to be really cool and really close with that movie. Something that's probably gonna kind of like lead directly into it is next on my list, which is Captain America: New World Order. Sam Wilson's first Captain America movie after his series of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and this movie is gonna tie very closely, I think, with Thunderbolts. And what we're hearing about it is it's gonna be about a new resources or new resource separate from vibranium, which is also going to be, I think, a big thing going forward. But I think they're going to introduce adamantium into the MCU, which is stronger than vibranium. And from the rumors, they're going to get it from, I think, Tiamat, the celestial that was supposed to be birthed from the earth in Eternals. Um, and that actually sounds kind of really cool to me. And there's gonna be a bunch of different people trying to gain access to that. And they might introduce some more mutants in this movie, which I'm always excited to see more of them. Uh, Maybe we'll get some hints at the Weapon X program. I don't know exactly how they're gonna do Wolverine because he's gonna be from the Fox timeline. Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3, which will be after Phase 5. But there's got to be like a 616 version of Wolverine. So who knows if he's been there this whole time? He was kind of like referenced in an Easter egg in She-Hulk, so he might already be here. But maybe he didn't. Maybe he's never been or having adamantium skeleton yet. So maybe now in the present day MCU he'll get that adamantium, but he's been alive just with his bone claws for however long he's been living. But after Captain America: New World Order, the show that I'm most excited about is Daredevil: Born Again, of course, because Daredevil is one of my favorite characters, and the Daredevil Netflix series, which is now on Disney Plus, is my favorite Marvel anything, and I think my favorite, definitely top three favorite superhero shows. Um, I think now The Boys has surpassed it because it has the same number of seasons, and I think has maintained its quality better than Daredevil did over its 3 season run. But Daredevil was probably number two still. And it was fucking amazing. And Charlie Cox is back, and I think he was amazing in She-Hulk. So I'm excited to see more of him. And this show hopefully will be a spiritual successor to his previous Netflix show. It's not going to be mature, but hopefully it is still good. I don't think Daredevil needs to be like a rated R thing. So I'm fine with that as long as it's still gritty and it's still as dark as it can be. Um, it definitely should not be comedic like how he was in She-Hulk. It should be its own thing, more similar to the Netflix series. But I'm excited to see it for sure. I don't know much about what's going to be happening in it. I'm just excited to see Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock Daredevil again. Um, and then the next few are projects coming out in 2023. So Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is number one on my 2023 list. Super excited to see Kang. After that, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Then Loki Season 2. And then another movie that I think might come out in 2024, but it's not been confirmed yet. Armor Wars, starring War Machine, Rhodey. That one was originally supposed to be a TV show, but they ended up thinking that it would actually serve better or work better as a movie, so it's going to be a movie now. And I'm excited to see that because it's going to be kind of like the first Iron Man movie after Iron Man 3, which was a long time ago, but also kind of the first kind of major focus on an Iron like Man type character since the death of Tony Stark in 2019's Avengers Endgame. Um, and I think Rhodey seems to be a bigger character going forward in the MCU now that Tony Stark is not there, because he's also going to be in Secret Invasion. Um, but more excited than that, I am of Agatha Coven of Chaos because I am hoping to see the return of Scarlet Witch in that show, but if not, at least kind of a similar type of thing, and the reintroduction of Wanda's actual kids, maybe like real living kids, but just more of that supernatural side of the MCU, which is starting to form. Um, I'm really looking forward to that, and I actually did like Agatha quite a bit in WandaVision, so I'm excited to see more of Catherine Hahn as her. Then it's Secret Invasion. I'm hoping it's gonna be good. I hope they have some cool surprises in it. But then after that is What If Season 2, which is currently unclear to me, like when that's gonna come out. I thought it was gonna be next year, 2023, and I was expecting early next year, but there hasn't been any sort of news about it, so I'm kind of starting to doubt that now. But the first season came out like 2 years ago now in 2020, so I was thinking it would come out sooner rather than later, but I don't know how long it takes for them to animate and all that. So it might come out a little bit later, but hopefully 2023. I want to see that episode with Tony Stark and Gamora in space, and any other stories that they have for us. I'm excited to see them. And then Echo, um, Daredevil, and Kingpin's next appearance before Daredevil Born Again, as well as the return of Maya Lopez, obviously, because that's her show. Then it's the Marvels for me. Captain Marvel was not one of my favorite movies, so I'm not like the biggest fan of her character. But I do love Monica Rambeau, so I'm excited to see her again and see her on the big screen. Same with Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is a joyous character to watch, and it'll be fun to see her meet her idol of Carol Danvers, and hopefully she's not just all like positive towards her. Like I hope she kind of has a more natural relationship instead of just pure admiration in the movie. But the whole kind of premise of it seems really cool. How each of the three like lead ladies are gonna be kind of like switching places. Like we saw at the in the post credits of the Miss Marvel show, where something was happening with Carol in space, and they have some sort of connection. It might be with Kamala's bangle and Captain Marvel's like Kree wrist device, where they swap places. So now uh, Captain Marvel was on Earth, and Miss Marvel, Kamala, was in new territory in space somewhere. Hopefully, she could breathe wherever she was. And then somehow, I think Monica's also gonna be thrown into that as well. And it'll be interesting to see her relationship now with Carol, because as a kid she did admire her as well, but she's had some like negative feelings as we saw in WandaVision since then, and since her mother's death, or just her getting sick. So I think it sounds like a really cool movie, so I am hoping for that, but it's not high on my list. And I think the one I'm least excited about is Ironheart, even though I did like Riri Williams and Ironheart in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Um, I'm just not really that invested in her character. I'm hoping they do some cool things. I hope they set at least the majority of it, if not all of it, in Chicago, because that's where Riri is from in the comics. And I think they did mention that in Wakanda Forever. And that's where I'm from, so you know, it'll be cool to get some Chi-Town representation in the MCU. And the whole aspect of like science versus or technology versus magic, because the villain is supposed to be wielding like dark magic, similar to Agatha, and those shows kind of tie in, or like one might lead to the other. That seems kind of interesting and cool. They were gonna do something like that with Tony Stark and Doctor Strange in Infinity War, but they didn't end up doing it. So we'll be able to see something like that now, but on opposite sides, like good and bad, or evil, or if not evil, misguided. Um, and Anthony Ramos is gonna play the lead villain, and he's starting to do more like big projects, and I think he's a fantastic actor. So I'm excited to see more of him for sure, and just find out kind of more about why Riri is even interested in being anything like Iron Man. Hopefully, we find that out in the show. But at the moment, it's doesn't make much sense. So hopefully, they fill in those gaps in that show. But I'm definitely more excited for everything else than that show. So those are the projects that I'm excited about for Phase 5. I want to throw out another like honorable mention, the Spider-Man animated series, which is gonna be part of the multiverse. Like it seems like most of the animated stuff is gonna be. Freshman year, I believe that's supposed to come out in 2024 as well. Um, but because it's a multiverse thing, I'm not as excited because it's not gonna be like essential viewing. So, but as a Spider-Man fan, like it might be kind of high on my list. But as an MCU fan, because it's not gonna tie into anything, it's a little bit lower. But they're gonna have some other stuff as well, like the X-Men series, which I never like cared for the original 90s animated series, but hopefully this one will be cool, and I might watch some of that original one, maybe get more into it, and possibly some other stuff too, like more specials on Disney Plus, but we'll see. But those are my thoughts and what I'm excited about for Phase 5. I think it's going to be a lot better than Phase 4 right off the bat with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, so hopefully they stick with it the entire 2 years or three, depending on how long it's going to be. And I hope they both start and end on a bang, just like Phase 4 actually did do a good job of, in my opinion, with WandaVision starting it, Black Panther Wakanda Forever finishing it. But we shall see. Thank you for watching my video. I'll catch you next time. Peace.